Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a close look at the Samsung Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, the latest flagship true wireless earbuds from Samsung. I'm calling this a long-term review because I've been using these earbuds regularly for the past 6 months since they came out. And to start this video, we gotta address the elephant in the room, because the release of these earbuds was one of the messiest I've seen from a major brand in a long time. If you're not aware, or maybe you just blocked it out since then, upon their initial release, a ton of users started complaining about the ear tips breaking when trying to change them out for a different size. Which, by the way, Samsung provides 3 different sizes of ear tips in the box. The issue comes from the design of these ear tips themselves, which include a soft silicone part as well as a hard plastic piece that actually clicks in and securely attaches to the earbud. The issue is that connection was maybe a little too secure, and whatever adhesive was used to keep the silicone part together with the plastic clip was too weak. So the silicone piece would either rip or peel off when trying to remove the ear tip. Samsung immediately put out a press release essentially claiming that users were just doing it wrong, but I can tell you from personal experience that I followed Samsung's directions exactly, and I still ended up with the same issue, as you can see here. I had to use a pair of little pliers to actually get the little plastic clips off, which was very stressful. What happened next was that Samsung delayed new orders of these for almost a month while they worked on solving the issues in their production process. Some people were offered small discounts to keep their earbuds or were able to return them and repurchase the earbuds once they were made available again. It was a bit of a mess. I personally had a good experience dealing with Samsung's customer service, who offered to send me replacement ear tips once those were available. It took a few extra weeks, but they sent over 2 full sets of all 3 sizes, and I thankfully haven't had any issues since then. So it'd be totally fair if you watched all of that transpire from afar and maybe chose to wait out the issues or bypass these earbuds altogether. And that's why I also wanted to wait this long before making a video, so I can give you my full impression of these earbuds after using them for a long period of time. The TLDR of this review is that these are really great earbuds for most people. But depending on your use case, there may be a better option available, so stay tuned to the end of this video as I'll offer some other alternative recommendations that might work better for you. So let's first go back to the basics and talk specs. The Buds 3 Pro are dual driver earbuds with an included case that supports wireless charging. Overall battery life should range around 6 to 7 hours, plus an additional 25 to 30 hours when paired with the case. They come in 2 colors, white and silver, foregoing the typical black option that Samsung usually has, but we'll get back to design in the next section, as there's a lot to unpack there. These are IP57 rated, and they have held up fine for me through workouts and even a light rain without issues. The Buds 3 Pro feature Bluetooth 5.4 for a solid connection over medium distances, and officially they support the AAC and SBC codecs. But if you pair them up with a Samsung device, you'll get to connect with Samsung's proprietary 24-bit seamless codec. I've tested them both with Samsung phones and non-Samsung phones, and we'll discuss those differences in the sound quality section here in a couple minutes. Speaking of pairing these up with Samsung phones, I'm currently testing it out with the Galaxy S23 phone, which is being protected by today's video sponsor, Simply Carbon Fiber. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a bit of a phone case nerd, as I like to swap them out and get a different look and feel from my most used piece of tech. Let's face it, phone designs these days have become a little stale with very little innovation. So why not slap a beautiful case on there that will also protect your investment? That's why I'm really loving the look of this case from Simply Carbon Fiber. The one I have here is their blue lace real forged carbon fiber case, and I honestly think it looks awesome, doesn't it? Every one of their cases is as unique as a snowflake, and this design mixes forged carbon fiber for strength and blue aluminum strings for a really standout design. So it's a super strong case with edge-to-edge protection while still being lightweight, and it's still grippy in the hand thanks to this matte rubberized finish on the outside here. They have a ton of other really cool carbon fiber accessories available as well, from wallets to sunglasses to jewelry and more. If you're interested, head over to simplycarbonfiber.com/JohnScott and use the code in the description to save 10%. Thanks again to Simply Carbon Fiber for sponsoring today's video. All right, now let's talk about the design and comfort of the Buds 3 Pro. Samsung has noticeably shifted its design language with these earbuds, moving away from the rounded design of their previous iterations and now adopting a stem design that bears a striking resemblance to what? Yeah, the AirPods Pro, right? But then to, I don't know, make sure that no one thinks that you have an AirPod, they took another big shift with this triangular stem design that has these white lights that run down the side. You gotta give it to Samsung for trying something unique, which can't really be said for their phone designs over the last few years. I kind of missed their previous case designs that were more of a squircle shape, but I do like the clear smoked lid in this case that adds a little bit of elegance to the overall styling. Regardless of your opinion on the design aesthetic, the stem design does offer some practical advantages. The in-ear fit is more secure and comfortable for me. One of my personal issues with Samsung's Buds 2 Pro is that the earbuds would work their way out of my ear and break the seal pretty easily if I was chewing gum or eating. And then when I was traveling, that really became a nuisance, so much so that I stopped traveling with them, sticking with other options that would stay sealed a bit better. I've had no such issues with the Buds 3 Pro in the same situations, which is really great. And with this design moving hardware down into the stem, it makes the part that actually goes into your ear a little smaller and lighter, which has really increased the comfort for me. I've had no issues wearing these for long listening sessions. And lastly, the stem provides a bit more tactile interaction in terms of the physical controls of the earbuds. Again, with the Buds 2 Pro, I got a lot of accidental presses just by, grazing them, and that would annoyingly pause my music. Having to actually give the stems a squeeze, a la the Apple AirPods, to pause music has really eliminated the accidental presses. A swipe up or down the stem on either earbud will adjust the volume, while a long squeeze on the stem will switch listening modes between active noise cancellation and ambient modes. But one of the most innovative features with these earbuds is that you can actually just use your natural voice commands without the need for a wake-up word to control them. Like just saying volume up, volume down, or next song will do exactly that when it's enabled. This is super handy for all you cold weather people bundled up with gloves and mittens trying to stay warm out there. The last thing I'll say about the design is that while the stems are a unique shape that you may or may not like aesthetically, there's no question that it makes these harder to put back in their case, especially because they go in the case backwards, facing away from each other, like the opposite of how you wear them. So after you take them out, you actually have to take them and twist them 180 degrees before popping them back in their case. There are magnets that do a decent job of sucking them back in once you get them close, but I've accidentally dropped these several times, and that's just not great. Since I've already compared them to the AirPods once or twice, I'll just say that the rounded stem design of Apple's earbuds, plus the directionality of how they go in the case, is just significantly better in terms of day-to-day usability. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the design of these. In terms of active noise cancellation, these earbuds do quite well. It's actually the best ANC I've heard from any Samsung earbuds that I've ever tested in the past, but they're still lagging just a little bit behind Bose in this department. But overall, I found ANC to be very effective in most everyday situations, like cutting out the sounds of a noisy coffee shop or an air conditioner. But they struggle a little bit keeping up with a persistent deep tone like the engines of an airplane. That said, the ambient mode is one of the best I've ever experienced. It ranks right up there with the AirPods Pro 2 as the most transparent sounding ambient mode I've heard. And this is particularly evident in how they convey the sound of your own voice. That's where most earbuds ambient mode kind of falls apart in terms of immersion. But this standout feature plus the overall comfort of the Buds 3 Pro honestly makes me forget I'm wearing them sometimes, which is the best compliment I think I can pay them in this respect. What works less well is the adaptive experience, where the earbuds will automatically switch between listen modes depending on the environment it detects that you're in. A lot of companies are introducing these features which claim they're using AI to discern different sounds, which I don't know, maybe. But the best example I have of this not working well is that every morning I take my dog on a walk where I want to have ambient mode on so I can hear what's going on around us. When I get home, I usually make a smoothie, and the earbuds automatically recognize the blender as a new loud sound that it should try to cancel out. But it takes a bit too long for it to start working, and it does so in such plainly obvious stair-stepping fashion that's pretty jarring. And sometimes it doesn't do anything at all. The opposite experience works pretty well though. When you have ANC on, you can use the Buds 3 Pro to automatically switch to ambient mode when you start talking, or if it detects any horns or sirens going off. This is a great safety feature that allows you to reconnect back with your surroundings if you're using these while walking or biking in busy traffic. These also support multi-point connections with auto switching to make it easy to transition between your phone and laptop audio, for example. And they support spatial audio, which creates a 360 audio experience and even offers head tracking. I think this is a pretty cool gimmick, but I personally want to experience music how the artist intended, so to be honest, after testing this once, I turned it off and I haven't tried it since. Now, before we get to sound quality, let's hear how these microphones sound and actually compare them to some of the most competitive offerings from Bose, Sony, and Apple. We'll first test these outside on a busy street when connected to a phone, and then come back in here and test them on a Zoom call connected to a laptop. Now, what's important to note is that again, when the Buds 3 Pro are connected with another Samsung device, they claim that you automatically get much more improved microphone call quality. So I'll be testing those both with the S23 as well as a Pixel phone so you can compare both. All right, so the first test here, we're out here next to a busy street, relatively busy street. So we have some traffic going by. I'm recording with the Samsung S23, and this is the built-in microphone that you are currently hearing. So let's go ahead now and switch over to some of the Bluetooth earbud options and hear how those sound in comparison. All right, so now we have the Bose QuietComfort Ultras, and we're listening to those here. These, I think, are the most expensive of the options that we are listening to today. So how do these sound? These are the Bose QuietComfort Ultras. And now I've switched over to the Sony WF-1000XM5. So now you're hearing the Sony XM5s out here on a beautiful day. We're doing well, and we're talking. There's a lot of road noise and a bit of a breeze. All right, now we have the Apple AirPods Pro 2. So this is the Apple AirPods Pro 2, but still connected to a Samsung phone here, the S23, just to keep things as even as we can. There might be a difference if you're actually connecting them with an iPhone, but this is what the AirPods Pro 2 sound like out here. And last but not least, we have the Samsung Buds 3 Pro. So this is what it's all about in terms of this video. So how do these compare to all the other options you just heard? This is recording video straight into the Samsung S23. All right, so now I have the Buds 3 Pro actually connected to the Pixel 9 Pro. So a different phone here than the S23, just to hear if there's any difference with how Samsung and Samsung handle their stuff together versus Samsung to a non-Samsung phone. So that's what this sounds like right now. All right, for this next test, let's hear how these sound inside in a good sounding environment, but connected to a Zoom call. So I'm actually connecting these, and we are starting with the Bose QuietComfort Ultras, connecting these to a 14-inch MacBook and recording within Zoom to each of these so you can hear how they sound. So this, again, is the Bose QuietComfort Ultra. And next here in the Zoom call test, we've got the Sony WF-1000XM5s. So here's what the Sony sound like inside in a treated room, connected to a 14-inch MacBook Pro being recorded directly into Zoom. All right, and next we have the AirPods Pro 2, again connected to a MacBook. So in this case, there is an Apple-to-Apple kind of pairing there. So let's hear how this sound in a quiet environment for a typical Zoom call. All right, and lastly, we do have the Samsung Buds 3 Pro in a typical Zoom environment, literally recording with Zoom here. And how do these sound in comparison to the other options? I'm gonna go ahead and gather all these up, listen to all of them, and give you my thoughts next. So as you heard there, I think the Buds 3 Pro sounded the best out of all four options, which is pretty impressive. In particular, when paired with the S23, the sound was absolutely the most natural, albeit without offering a lot in terms of noise suppression there. When paired with the Pixel, the sound quality drops pretty considerably, but is at least in line with the next best sounding options. In terms of the Zoom test, I'd still take the Buds 3 Pro over any of the other options. So this is a big win for Samsung in this category, and maybe a deciding factor if you do a lot of video calls with earbuds. All right, we've waited long enough. Let's talk about the overall sound quality. And as you saw in the last test, I've got a bunch of the most premium earbuds on the market to compare these two. And given that, I'm actually really impressed with the performance of Samsung's offering here. To me, it makes sense that like the Sony XM5s have a ton of bass, given that I also found them to be a little too big and therefore uncomfortable. But honestly, the Buds 3 Pro keep pace with those and do so in a form factor that's much more comfortable to wear for longer sessions. So yeah, plenty of bass is available on tap for those who enjoy that. And on the high end, there's a good amount of sparkle when you push the top end with the EQ settings in Samsung's Wear app. Where these earbuds fall just a little bit short for me is like the upper mids. I listen to a lot of like heavy rock and other music that benefits a lot from an earbud or headphone that can push that mid section with authority without getting muddy. And for me, there's definitely a bit of something that comes along for the ride here, which is just a little bit unpleasant, especially at louder volumes. I would also say that the overall soundstage is a bit limited here when compared to some of the other earbuds, but this is absolutely helped if you pair them with a Samsung device which supports that 24-bit seamless codec. That extra bit of headroom really adds to the depth and clarity overall. So overall, I think most people will be extremely happy with the sound quality of these earbuds. I'm really splitting hairs here, and it's only because I have all these other options to compare them to. But if I had to pick my favorite sounding earbuds right now, it's still the Bose QuietComfort Ultras. So, would I recommend these? At this point, definitely. Now that they seem to have figured out their quality control issues with the ear tips, these really are worth a look if you're in the market for a premium pair of earbuds. Particularly if you use a Samsung phone, I think these are likely the best available earbuds for you overall. If you're after the be-all, end-all for sound quality, I slightly prefer the Bose QuietComfort Ultras, which are usually my go-to travel earbuds due to their superior handling of airplane noise. That said, I'll often switch back to the Samsung Buds 3 Pro once I get to my destination because the overall fit and comfort is really the best among all the earbuds I've tested, and the microphone quality is leagues better than the Bose, as you just heard. Now these aren't cheap, around $250 US, but I've noticed recently that Samsung's been doing a lot of sales and bringing these down to as low as $150 to $180. So definitely take that into account when shopping around. If you're looking for a cheaper recommendation, I can highly recommend the Samsung Buds FE, which can be had for as low as $70 right now. Those are definitely my favorite budget earbuds on the market right now. Alright, so if you're looking to pick up these earbuds or any others mentioned in this video, I've left links for everything down in the description below. And while you're headed down there, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing for more videos like this. And feel free to let me know down in the comments which earbuds you'd like me to test next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.